for you guys tuning into this video, this is a new series on YouTube that I wanted to start. I'm going to title it as something with FunkyTown, like "Welcome to FunkyTown." Insert cool animation over the top or whatever. And the idea of it is, I want to interview, supporters of our community and consistent viewers that are always in chat, always interacting, always having a good time. And I wanted to do this, maybe once a month, once every other month. And I think the idea of it is, I want it to be somebody that has been supporting the community and been an active viewer for at least like half a year or so. So every other month, I'll randomly select someone. But obviously, for this video being the first, I wanted it to be with Tomo, who has been a long-term supporter of our stream ever since about 2 years ago when I first started streaming. My man Tomo has been a support. So Tomo, tell me a little bit about yourself and tell the world about yourself, but not too much.
Not too much. Okay. Well, I am a senior in college studying statistics. I live in the Northwest, so kind of in the lots of hiking areas. You can go kayaking pretty easily, that sort of stuff. So good outdoor opportunities, studying statistics, and pretty focused on the academics actually for the time being.
And now, obviously, studying statistics, Tomo has always been one to mention to me, various odds and outs of, obviously you combine your stats background with Hearthstone.
Yep.
They seem to go well together.
Yes. Probability in Hearthstone and card games.
Yes. That is probably one of the most. That's probably one of the talents that is not easily learned. You have to teach yourself that. You won't learn that in the tutorials of Hearthstone.
No.
No, you'll learn battle cry and stuff like that. So a little bit of backstory about Tomo and how he came to be. So about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, was when I first started streaming on Hearthstone, or streaming on Twitch playing Hearthstone. And I was actually in my parents' basement. Emily and I were dating at this time, but I was living in my parents' basement. My brother had just moved out, so I moved down to the basement because that was the cool place to be, And this was before I had a nice gaming laptop and everything. I used this. My parents bought me this as a senior present when I graduated for college, and obviously it didn't really get used that much for actual college. It mostly got used for playing Hearthstone. So this is what I originally streamed on, and when I was in my parents' basement, Tomokato was one of the first people that actually joined in my stream when I had 1 or 2 viewers, and my man Tomo pops in, and I believe so. Tomo was actually streaming at that time, correct?
Yep, that's right.
And how long had you been streaming when you popped into my channel?
I think it must have been only a couple months, or maybe even a little less. I was getting a couple viewers, but just looking for friends.
Just looking for friends. Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with that, dude. The Twitch community is great. So basically, Tomo started streaming before me. I started streaming. He popped into mine, and then we started basically supporting one another. It was probably a month afterwards that you stopped streaming, right?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Yeah.
Okay. And then I ended up stopped streaming a month after that. Funny thing about this interview is right before we started this, I thought to myself, I haven't seen Tomo. I had somewhat of a. Did you used to wear glasses?
Nope.
You did? No. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I thought you used to wear glasses. I guess I was wrong.
Good guess.
And I was telling him, I was like, I haven't seen Tomo on camera in over a year, and I'm like, I remember he has short blonde hair. That was the only thing I remember.
Yeah. Yep.
So awesome. Well, hey man, I am happy that you're here today. We've got a couple of interview questions to let the community know a little bit more about you. You obviously already told us about a little bit who you are and whatnot. So when did you start playing Hearthstone, and what or who got you into the game?
Okay, so I started, I think, very shortly before it was actually released. I think I got in like right before the game actually had an official release.
So you actually like signed up via email
Mm,
and waited, and then they
mm.
sent you a code.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I was inspired to do this by a friend who played lots of WoW, and so he was into the whole like Hearthstone is a subset of WoW, and I never played WoW, but he was like, you should play a card game, and I honestly didn't really think I would like card games, and now I realize I was very wrong. Yeah.
You absolutely love them.
Yeah, I kind of fell in love with it very quickly because especially because of really old fight night videos. That's probably like they don't do those anymore. But the earliest tournaments that were kind of like big and public were called fight night, and they would have all the streamers invited to them, and they would play, and they would have lots of kind of fun and slightly different rules than like normal tournaments. Like what I really like, they were kind of like team based, so you have like one team versus another, and each player would play one of them on the other team. It was great fun. But so that got me into it because I started being able to tell what an actual good play was. Like when you first start playing a card game, because of so much all the randomness, it's really difficult to tell. Like, am I doing this right? Because any play could be right for one reason or wrong for another. Like you can think, well, there's always a counter example. Like there's always like something you can think of that could make your play right or wrong. But like becoming more confident in like what a right or good play is a really important step.
So now, like growing up as a kid, were you ever interested in like magic at all?
No.
No?
No. Part of the reason I didn't think I was going to get into Hearthstone is I kind of tried a little bit of Magic, and I didn't really know how like the card games worked or how you were supposed to play them very well. So most of the time it would be me trying to play with somebody who also didn't know how to play. And so it wasn't a great introduction to how card games work. I also think Hearthstone is a lot sleeker than Magic.
Yes,
Much easier to get into a card game that way.
Yes, because I like for example, you watched some of my streams when I was trying to play Magic, right?
Or I think I caught a few of those, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, because there were times when I was playing Magic, the new online Magic game, where I was just like, is it my turn or is it his turn?
Yeah,
like, right. I was legit confused on whose turn it was, because there's like phases and everything. So yeah, you're definitely correct about, because Hearthstone was the first like card game that I got into as well.
Yeah.
Because it's so simple. They take components of Magic and they kind of just make it really easy for people to get into.
Yeah.
You know.
I can talk a lot about like card game rules of what I think are like good about
them. So it's funny that you said like when you got into the game, because I got into the game like I think probably a month or two right after you did.
Okay.
Because I remember my college, because I was also a freshman in college when my buddy mentioned it, and he said that he's been on the waiting list for like a month, and he ended up finally getting it, and then he told me about it. I played one game on it, I'm like, I'm hooked. Yeah. So this was, I remember it was like October like 2nd or 3rd, and I signed up and like I typed in my email and like I want to play, and like the next day was when I think they released it to the public.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like it was like the very next day, and I remember telling him like, dude, I can play Hearthstone now, and he's like,
yeah,
what? And I'm like, yeah, they just released it. And he was like, you bastard, I've been waiting. He waited for a month and got the code like 3 days before they opened it up to everybody.
Hey, 3 days.
And then ever since then, I've just been playing. Yeah. So you've been around since Goblins vs. Gnomes, since BlackRock, since Nax Ramus. You've seen it all.
Yep, absolutely.
You've seen it all.
Yep.
Okay, and obviously, you haven't been playing like consistently since then, right?
Yeah,
like you're kind of a fair weather fan.
Yeah, for I'd say like last year or two, I've been kind of off and on. I think I've been a legend like once in the last year, but I'm pretty.
I feel like a lot of people can kind of get like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I was. I had my session where I played it religiously for like 3 months, and then I stopped for like half a year, and then I picked it back up. I specifically remember like I stopped playing for like 6 months, and then when Mean Streets of Gadgetzan was released, or no, when Kazakis, the card Kazakis was shown, my friend told me like, dude, look at this card, and that card got me back into Hearthstone. Yeah. I'm like, just the concept of crafting your own spells, like that is insanely cool to me.
I love Kazakis.
And that's what kind of got me back into it. So, speaking of all of these expansions, what has been your favorite expansion so far?
So in terms of, I really like combo decks. So I
Okay.
follow almost all of those, like whenever they're good or bad. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so probably the one that was the most fun for me, I want to say like Patron Warrior, just because of like that's kind of
Mm.
notorious for just having lots of decisions and different ways of winning the game. But
So I actually didn't play
yeah,
during Patron Warrior. So tell me about, like, was that deck actually difficult
yeah,
to play? It
yeah,
was?
and
Okay.
and the reason that I can say that pretty confidently, I was never actually great at it, but if
Mm-hmm.
you look at like the data, basically what would happen is the people in like the top like 100 or top 20 legend would have like 70% plus win rates with it, but like
Hmm.
Blizzard didn't want to nerf the deck because like its overall win rate was like below 50, like or like near 50. So it
But I
was
feel like that's kind of the same with a lot of decks like
mhm,
that. You know, like they see one person that's really good at the game
yeah,
play it, and they think, "Oh, I can easily do it."
yeah,
And like I think overall the deck itself is pretty overpowered.
yeah.
Just people just don't know how to
It
play
was
it. You
really,
know.
really quite difficult, I think,
Hmm.
or at least, but in the tournament scene, like everyone was playing it, everyone was banning it, and you pretty much it was like clearly shaping the meta. So you kind of like
Hmm.
disconnect between like how Blizzard was like, well, this isn't really that powerful by the numbers, but like it was almost ruining the game for the higher level
Yeah,
players.
they
It
should.
was very
They
interesting.
really shouldn't look at numbers
Yeah,
like that. They should just realize this is an overpowered deck.
yeah.
Like they should see, like, kind of like how like APM Priest is.
Hmm.
You know, right now. Like, do you think that's a good deck right now? What do you
I can't
think?
really tell, but I would say that I strongly doubt that that's like the
Mm-hmm.
combo deck right now. It feels
Mm-hmm.
like it takes a few too many cards to me, but I haven't really followed it or seen what its matchups are. Like if it beats aggro, then it's probably really good, right? But
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I remember when the newest expansion came out. I remember watching HS Dog and seeing him do it, and I was just blown away
yeah,
by how, like, I don't know if he thought of it or somebody else thought of it,
hmm
but I remember watching during my lunch break,
hmm
and on my phone I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is insane!" I pulled it up on my computer and I had to record it. I recorded it.
yeah,
I was like, "Okay, I gotta watch this in slow motion,
yeah,
and like I gotta learn how to do that." But then I went home and I looked at like the stats for that deck, and it had like a 20% win rate
yeah.
at that time. So I was
I
like,
guess it
I
must
don't want
not
to
be
learn.
amazing, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's really not. If you know the deck, it's obviously pretty good, but if not, you kind of
yeah.
just fall wayside to the
I
meta,
want to say
so.
that combo like people knew was coming, or at least like I remember Trump had released videos I think explaining how it would work before the
Okay.
expansion came out. So it was kind of like people were aware but had no idea if it would work like consistently or whatnot. Kind of like
Hmm.
Shutterwalk, right? Shutterwalk was in the same vein
Yeah.
where like
Shutter Guac.
Shutterwalk, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think like speaking of which, like having played Hearthstone, I think Shutterwalk was definitely like in the conversation for like hardest deck, like
Hmm.
Patron Warrior and
We've
Shutterwalk.
had we've
Yeah.
had many co-op streams
hmm
playing Shutterwalk
Yeah.
together.
Like Patron Warrior is hard because you can do so much on a given turn, but Shutterwalk is
Hmm.
hard because like it restricts you in really awkward ways. It's really hard to choose what the play is. Like it's like really hard choices between
Yeah.
like two cards instead of like you can play like 12 cards. And half of the skill of
Yeah.
Patron Warrior is like playing all 12 in the turn. You
Yeah,
know?
and it's funny. It's funny showing because, like, so it's funny that you're mentioning Grim Patron and
Yeah.
Shadowwalk because my best friend, like my best man at my wedding and everything, he kind of got into Hearthstone right after I did,
Yeah.
and he was really big into Patron Warrior.
Yeah.
That was like the only time he got Legend was because of Patron Warrior.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
he basically stopped playing since then.
Okay.
And every time there's a new expansion, I always mention it to him. He'll watch for a little bit, but then he plays other games, you
Yeah.
know? Just the other day, I showed him, like, we were watching some stream. I think we were watching Mr. Yaget.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce his name. And he was playing Shutterwalk, and I'm like, okay. I tried explaining to him, like, try explaining how to combo, like, how these Shutterwalk deck works
Yeah.
to somebody that hasn't played Hearthstone in like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to explain, so this card does this, and then this makes this happen because of this. And I remember him watching like the full combo, like Mr. Yaga was able to pull it off, and he's just like, I'm really glad I didn't get back in Hearthstone. Because he said that. He's like, he saw the combo happen, he's like, I'm really glad I don't play Hearthstone anymore.
Yeah.
So, going off of that, let's say this, apart from Hearthstone, what other interests do you have? I see.
So
if you're not studying or not playing Hearthstone, what can we expect Tomokato to be doing besides sleeping?
Yeah, I mean, so the obvious answer is Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
Yeah, like,
obviously.
I watch a lot of random stuff on Netflix. I watch stuff with friends online, basically, like where we'll both watch the same thing at the same time. So mostly we watch really bad movies, like Sharknado style, like stuff. We have like a big list of bad movies that we want to watch that we're like working through right now.
You do have a Sharknado T-shirt, if I'm correct, right?
Yep.
You mentioned it the other day on stream. You said that you were wearing a Sharknado 2 promo T-shirt or something.
Yeah, actually, it was when I went to visit that friend in San Diego. It was during Comic-Con. They were promoting Sharknado 2, and the way that they were doing that. So around Comic-Con, I never went actually into Comic-Con, but kind of around the area. Something that happens is there's a lot of religious protesters who don't like. Or like extremist type of people who think that comics are the devil or something, and so you'll see people with signs like that all the time. So the Sharknado promotion was making fun of them because they were like end is near, Sharknado is coming, and they were marching around and throwing out T-shirts and stuff, and that's how I obtained it. And do I still have a foam Sharknado chainsaw?
Oh my god! So you actually got that from Comic-Con?
Yeah. From being outside.
Being outside. Okay, that is awesome. So you didn't actually go to Comic-Con, but you were around.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff just around the periphery of it, promotions and stuff.
Okay. So, apart from Netflix, so what other hidden talents do you have? Apart from being really good at stats.
Okay, so. Most of my talents got kind of covered by academics, because when I was growing up, I did a lot of more creative outlets, and when I first went to college, I was more planning on going into more creative humanities types of subjects too. So I grew up playing a lot of music. I played piano. I played mostly jazz. So I played that for 12 years or something. So I'm reasonable. I was gonna play guitar, but the guitar is broken, which is making me.
So that was my first impression of Tomo, guys. When I first hosted Tomo and I saw his stream title as Keytar in Hearthstone, I see this guy making these Hearthstone plays, and then in between turns when his opponent's playing, I don't even know how you hold a Keytar. Yeah. I just remember hearing him playing a Keytar and his cat jumping up, and I'm like, what is happening? There's just so much going on right now. So before this interview, I also mentioned that during this interview, I wanted you to show some kind of hidden talent.
Yeah.
Of yours, and you mentioned that you had a magic.
Yeah, I wanted to see if I could get this to work. So
so it's not guaranteed to work.
Well, okay, so it should work, but I might be bad at it. So if people see the stream cuts, they'll know that I screwed it up, and the funky.
So it's just magic trick, and then there's just a big cut, and it's just oh my gosh, that is my card.
Yeah, but it's a really.
It's like you show a card on your stream, or on your end, and then it somehow appears in my ear.
yeah, exactly like that. Yeah, that's the trick actually. Just kidding.
Okay, well I have with me two decks of cards right now.
Yeah.
So run me through this magic trick.
Okay, so this is essentially a math magic trick. So for that reason,
honestly, those are the best.
Yeah. For that reason, I thought it was best if you actually manipulated the cards, because there's no sleight of hand, and I think it's still pretty cool.
Okay.
It's kind of a standard you'll pick a card and then I'll find it, type of trick.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure as far as with the stream how to best actually do that, because you could, like, for example, show the card to the camera and I could look away and there could be that trust, or you could like write down the card that you eventually choose.
Yeah.
But,
All right. So this only needs 27 cards, right?
Yep,
so
correct.
do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay. So I got my 27 random cards right here, correct?
Okay. What you'll want to do, first pick a number between 1 and 27.
27.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. So what I'll have
You should have knew that was coming.
Yeah. What I'll have you do is now pick a card, any of those 27 cards in your hand. You can select, and I could look away or whatever.
Okay,
I'll
so I can look at all these cards and just pick one.
Just pick one of those cards, and you can show the camera or however you want to do that, and then let me know when I can look.
Okay, hold on. So I'm picking this card right now, guys. Tomo cannot see that. He's looking
correct.
away.
I can see nothing.
Okay, so just put it back in the deck?
Yeah, so you put it back in the deck.
Okay.
And so make sure you remember that card, obviously. So you'll need to know that.
Yes, I remember the card.
Okay.
You can look now.
Perfect. So now just shuffle the deck so that the card is completely lost into that deck.
Joke's on you. I threw the card out.
that would get me.
I gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
So now that we are comfortable that card is lost, what I'll have you do, so remember that you can make those 3 piles in a row like that. So just start making those piles, but make sure you know which pile your card is in.
Okay. So just basically go through, but look for wherever my card pile goes.
Yeah.
Okay. You can actually see it on.
Yeah.
Like the camera knows. I hate when they're not organized. Okay.
Okay. So if you know which pile that you would that you put that card in, reassemble the deck, but put that pile on the bottom.
Put that pile on the bottom.
Yeah.
So just make sure that pile is on the bottom.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to do the same exact thing.
Same exact thing.
Yeah, same exact thing.
Okay. It's funny that you mentioned that you want to show me a magic trick, because after my stream last night, I stayed up for about an hour watching David Blaine magic tricks.
Really? I need to watch more magic. Actually, I really enjoy it. I watched the Penn and Teller Fool Us a lot. I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So reassemble the deck with make the exact same thing so that deck is on the bottom. The deck with your card is on the very.
So do the exact same thing, but wherever my card is, that stack is on the bottom. Okay. Okay.
Now do it one more time.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit of effort, but I believe the payoff will be there.
I believe the payoff. What are the chances of this happening?
100%. Just
100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chances if I did the math wrong.
Okay.
But I did it right.
We do love math.
Yeah.
Okay.
So reassemble the deck with making sure that the deck that your card is in is on the bottom again.
On the bottom again. Okay. Okay.
So the number that you picked was 27, right?
Yes.
So if you count 26 cards onto the table.
Yes.
So just start counting them face down, 26 cards face down on the table.
But is my card going to be the bottom card?
It
because
maybe.
I know that my card is the bottom card because I saw that it was on the bottom. So that's the trick. Huh. So how does that work? How exactly? Oh, I think I get it. I think I get it now. Okay. So the cutting of the deck 3 times and putting it on the bottom means that it should inevitably end up. Well, wait. No, I don't know how it works. Never mind. Never mind. You have me stumped.
Yep.
Okay. Well, dang, that was my card. It was on the very bottom, and I picked the 27th number.
Mm-hmm.
You said to pick 1 through 27. And that was. I saved the struggle of going through every single card.
Yeah.
Because I knew that mine was on the bottom. So.
Yeah, 26 is the number to count. But yep.
Other than that, Tomo, thank you so much for being my first. I don't want to say contestant. Thank you for being the first person to be a part of this stream. I'm actually really excited about the projection of where this video series will kind of take off. You know, I have so many ideas for YouTube videos, but this was one of the series that I really wanted to be able to reach out and, not just make it about, myself and Emily and my cats and I, but really, reach out to you guys and be more focused on, a community as a whole. That's why we do like Jackbox and other games like that. So Tomo, thank you so much, man. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. Any last words before we sign off?
Well, I look forward to the next cat cam.
Yes, the next cat cam. Yes. So thank you so much, man. And as always, have a good one, guys. If you haven't yet, like I said, I will be uploading more YouTube videos in the near future. I just kind of gotta get a feel of what it's like to be a better editor. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.